We need to let you know before we get started that unique experiences and past performances do not guarantee future results. I think everyone here knows that trading is speculative, and we shouldn't risk capital that we can't afford to lose. So just take a moment to read through that. I'll get a little sip of water, and then we'll keep moving. All right, that should be long enough. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Brian Stickney. We have Forex Joe here with us as well. Today is Wednesday, August 28th, and welcome to another very slow market. And this has been molasses this week. Just not seeing moves. I mean, moves are happening. It's just taking a long time to set up, which we would expect during this time of year. And during this summertime session, really, we're coming into a holiday weekend. And then next week we've got non-farm payroll, and most of your larger big-time traders are going to come back in following non-farm payroll. So we've got the end of this week for it to be slow. Next week for it to chop around. We might see some movement on some reports next week into non-farm payroll, but then we should really expect the market to start finding its trend following the non-farm payroll week into that week after. So we got about another week and a half of slow times before we start finding this market picking up again. But with that said, we can always take some trades. We can always look at our daily regimen for live trading, utilize that with the daily report and Forex Joe's alerts, and still find some trades that we can take. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to have a look. Now, right now, we're in the middle of a news event. Carney is speaking. And so we do have a news event going on right now, and then in about an hour from now, we have a homes report coming out here for the U.S. So we're going to look for some levels to set up, have some levels to watch, and then we'll place those trades following the news. So we're just going to basically go through and do our morning analysis like we would any other morning, and then place trades after things settle down. We don't want to jump right into the middle of this. And we talked about that on Friday last week of how it's I think the slow markets can kind of make us antsy, make us itchy. On Friday I took an impulsive trade. I actually did it again this morning. It's not on my. I just went ahead and cleared my chart for the for this new session, but I actually did it this morning. I took an impulsive trade here, basically just looking for it to come back and retest 33.29 before news. So I took a 10-pip loss because I got impulsive and didn't use the plan, didn't use the regimen. And anytime I have losers, it's typically because I get these little impulsive urges. I have to snap my wrist and make it stop, make the voices stop. Anyway, it happens from time to time. As long as we can recognize it and recover from it, and we don't let an impulsive trade get away from us, then it's okay. So ultimately, I think that's my going kind of stir crazy from not having any huge trends going on yet. So anyway, let's go ahead and like I've always said, guys, I'm totally upfront and honest about what I'm doing in my trading, and you're able to see that on the replays. So don't feel like I need to hide that from you. It's something that I think we all do, and I'm sure you can relate to that. So I just wanted to share that with you so that you'd be able to hopefully learn from that impulsiveness as well, and just stick to the plan, stick to your daily regimen, stick to your plan, and that's how we're going to set ourselves up for longer term success. So let's get started. Right now we've got our daily regimen in front of us. We've got the market going. So let's start out with the Euro USD like we like to, Euro USD. And our current price, let me just collapse my menu here so I can actually see what the current price is. Current price is 33.63. 33.63. We moved right to a grid and struggling right now. In the middle of news, so I think we're going to see movements on blurbs and sound bites. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be capturing our channel information before we start looking anywhere else. We want to know what are our potential tops and bottoms on this. So we're going to pop over. Pop over to our daily report. So channel information. So we're currently trading at 33.63 in the middle of a news event right now. So we're not. This is great to be filling this out because it'll keep our mind off of what might be happening on the chart and allow us to actually get the data that we need to be successful. So the first thing we see here is our channel bottom is 33.29, and that's a 3 of 3 channel that's lining up short-term, mid-term, and long-term as a channel bottom. It's been very well respected. We've seen this number quite a bit over the last few weeks, which just shows us the nature of this range-bound market. You have a key level like this, and price is just fluctuating. It's bounced a little bit below it. It's bounced around above it. It just 33.29 is continuing to be a decision point for us as we're coming in to kind of the end of our summertime blues. So we're really watching 33.29 right now as a channel bottom, and it's been holding up. It was tested yesterday pretty much to the pip right before a news event, and it's repelled off of 33.29. If we move up, our channel top is 34.29. 34.29. So we've got about a 100 pip channel right now for the day. No alignment on the upside. Just really watching 33.29 right now because this has been such a key level for us over the past few weeks. Support and resistance information. Well, we're currently trading at 33.63 or right around there. So well, what do we have? Well, above us we've got 33.67. 33.67. A little resistance area could be a decision point for the morning. Down below us, we've got 33.61. So about a 6 pip range right here that we could be bouncing around in for this support and resistance. Now we break below 33.29. 33.29, obviously big number for the channel bottom. If that breaks down, then we've got 32.80. We might see that 3,300 become a support level within there. You know, just again, keep in mind those whole numbers typically are going to be significant for us. To the upside, if we break above 33.67, then of course you've got 3,400, 3,404. Big number for us, whole number. You typically see price stop, sometimes reverse around those big whole numbers like that. Then if we break above there, we've got 34.29, which is our channel top, adding a little bit more significance to that number. All right, so now, are we trending or oscillating for the day? What's happening here? Looks like we're in a little bit of a downward trend for the day. We've moved about 60 pips, so you know, definitely the market is favoring this this downward trend so far for the day. But the big question is, has the channel been broken? Have we broken below 33.29 or above 34.29? And the answer there is no. We absolutely have not. And that's been the story of our lives for the past few weeks. Average daily range. What's our average range? Well, today we've moved 61 pips. And our average range over the short term has been about 70 to 80 pips. You know, if we look to 5-day to the 20-day, we're, you know, 65, 68 to about 80 pips. You know, if we go out a little bit further, typically this Euro USD has been a little over 100 pips for the range. But right now, because of the summertime session, it's really compressed down to, you know, 70 to 80 pips. What's going on with the news? Well, we just talked about it, but just to make sure everyone knows where to look, we like to use Forex Factory for the news. And over here we can see what's happening for the day. I'll just refresh that. I don't think it really needs to be refreshed. But here we have what's happening for the day. Right now, we're in the middle of this. Bank of England, Governor Carney is speaking. And then at 10 o'clock Eastern, we have the pending home sales for our U.S. And the home sales can always be an interesting report for us. And we can usually see some market movement around the release of that report. It'll be interesting today because, you know, Governor Carney will probably be wrapping up right about the same time that we have the pending home sales released. So that could be really an interesting time to watch. So definitely check the status of this before we trade following this. Okay. So news, yes, there is major news up until 10 o'clock Eastern. So make sure you make a note of that. And we don't really want to put our fingers on the button until after that. If you feel yourself with the urge to break the rule, just snap a rubber band on your wrist and and train yourself not to do that. Although you're going to slip from time to time. Uh, what's happening with the futures market? Last thing on our checklist before we move forward and look for our potential trading areas is we want to check out the futures market and find out what this is doing. Really, it's been mixed, man. The other day, even Monday, the Dow rallied above 15,000, and we didn't see the movement that we would have expected with the Euro USD, with our dollar strength. So very interesting time. I think it just shows kind of the mixed up market that we're in right now, the flat market that we're in. But we do always check here for for futures to get an idea of what's happening. Typically, we're going to see inverse correlation between what's happening with the Dow, crude, gold, and silver, and the dollar. So typically, if we're seeing the Dow rallying, if we're seeing a rally here in Dow and crude and gold, silver, we're seeing U.S. dollar weakening. If we're seeing the U.S. dollar gaining strength, then typically we're seeing these areas weakening, and that's because we're pulling money out of the Dow, out of crude, out of gold, out of silver, out of these futures, and we're holding them liquid in dollars. But it's not always it should. Typically, it's correlated like that. Typically, it has an inverse correlation. Over the short term, it's been kind of disengaged. So it just and when it does that, it's a time to really kind of step back and take a breath, breathe, make sure we're watching all of our factors before we place a trade. So for the futures market today, there's a so far kind of flat. Whoops, kind of flat, kind of mixed. Maybe a slight lean to the positive side. You've got a positive Dow, positive crude, positive gold and silver, which are the ones that we really watch. So there's a slight lean there, which should indicate weakness in the U.S. dollar. But we'll give that some time, and let's let that play out and check it again prior to placing our trades after the news at 10. So, all right, so we've gathered our information, and now we're going to go over to our chart, and we're going to find some trades to put on, or at least some areas to watch for potential trades before we, because we're not going to enter a trade right now. We've got a news event occurring, and we've got a news event coming up at 10. Now, if it were just a news event at 10, we could probably place a trade because we've got a little bit of time to get into a position, maybe grab profit before that news event occurs. But right now, given the fact that we're in a news event as well, would tell us to wait, just be patient on that. So what do we have? Well, 33.29 obviously staring us right in the face. It's a huge 3 of 3 channel, big level for us right here. Great spot to look for potential buy, and there's no reason that this couldn't push down following news and bounce off of there. We've also got this 33.67, which is our decision point that we just talked about, that's kind of setting up as a nice resistance area for us right now. So what I'd be watching here post news is we're going to watch for the 10 o'clock news event to occur, and we're going to see where price is. And what we want to do at that point is we're going to watch 33.29 and 33.67 for a break one direction or the other. If we break through 33.29, then we'll settle on a retest. If we break through 33.67, then we'll buy that on a retest. So we're going to look here for these two following news. Now, let's say price pushes down and we're hanging out right around here. We get kind of a lackluster news event, with this Holmes report. I would still look to buy 33.29. It just really depends on what happens with the Holmes report, and Forex Show, I'm sure, might speak to that a little bit more as well. But it really depends on what happens here. If we've pulled back following news, so following Carney's speech, we pull back, and then and we're hanging out around here. News comes out on Holmes, blips down, kind of a non-event level, then I would still look to buy 33.29. It's just going to depend on the power of what we see there with that news event at 10 o'clock Eastern. So keep an eye on 33.29, 33.67. If we have a major news event there, then we're going to look for a break and a retest for one of these two areas. So 33.29 definitely in my sights. 33.67 is the number to the upside that we'll watch, and then we just kind of need to see what occurs with that event. And I'm repeating this over and over because I'm making notes while I'm talking. I'm writing on my daily regimen, and just making sure I've got the same thing written down that I'm saying to use, so that I've got my trading plan ready to go for here in about an hour, 45 minutes or so. All right, so next up we have the pound USD. Let's reset that one. Pound, pending. All right, pound USD, where are we? Currently, we're trading at 55.13. 55.13. Right about where we were the other day when we were looking at this. It's just no movement at all. We're just chopping right around. All right, so first thing we're going to do, again, just reiterating our daily regimen, our plan, is we're going to capture our channel information. And we'll pop right over here to our daily report on 22 currency pairs. And we're going to scroll down to the pound USD. And what we see here is that we have a channel top at 55.66. And we have a channel bottom at 54.56. So just a little over 100 pip for the range for our tops and our bottoms. Support and resistance information, these levels, well, we're currently trading at 55.13. So what do we have? Well, we've got resistance above us at 55.35. And we've got support below us at 54.80. And we break through there, then we've got 54.34. Now we break to the upside above 55.35. We break out of there. We've got 55.66, which is also our channel top, and then 55.90 if we break back to the upside. Are we trending or oscillating for the day on this one? Well, certainly just like we saw in the euro, we're in a downward trend. We've had this news which has caused a spike, still looking like we're in a little bit of a downward trend. But the key question here is, has the channel been broken? Have we broken above 55.66? No. Have we broken below 54.56? And the answer is yes, we did. We broke it, we pierced it, and then on news, we pushed way below and then spiked back up. And it looks like we might be floating back down now. It kind of remains to be seen. So have we broken the channel? Yes, the channel was broken to the bottom. What's our average daily range? Well, average range on this pound today, we've moved 125 pips. Average range, even during this summertime blues, has been anywhere from 100 to 120 pips. So we're really here to the bottom. We've pushed the end of our range. I mean, we've gone pretty much what we would normally see for an average range on this pair. And now we're kind of hanging back out in the middle of it. I don't know if we'll see too much movement following this or not, but we can certainly look at our levels and find out where we could potentially place some trades. News, we know what news is coming up, and we know what the futures market's doing. That's not going to have changed much in the last couple of minutes. So we know there's a slight positive lean there for now, which would indicate a weaker dollar. But again, right now, we say that, but then we're looking at the futures market and we were seeing dollar strength just slight, pretty much at even, along with some slight gains in the Dow, crude, gold, and silver. So remains to be seen. We'll wait for news to make that news at 10 before we make any decisions on what we're going to trade. We want to recheck that news again before we enter. So let's go ahead and put up some lines on the chart here and see what we've got. We know we've got a channel bottom down here at 54.56, and we know that we have a channel top up here at 55.66. but this one can be compressed a little bit more to see where we actually want to trade. So 55.35 is an area for us. So 55.35, right about here. And we've got 54.80, which is right down here. So really, what we're going to watch post news is we'll watch this compressed channel, which is here between 54.80 and 55.37. Now, under normal market conditions, if we weren't in the middle of a news event right now, we could compress this channel a little bit more, and normally we would look through other potential areas for support and resistance. And there you've got kind of an area through here. It's probably looking at this 5,500 area for a compressed channel, but we'll wait to see what really plays out here. So once our 10 o'clock news occurs, we're going to watch two levels. We're going to watch this 54.80 and this 55.35 area. So we're going to watch here and here for potential breaks. If we break above, then we'll look to buy on a retest. If we break below, we'll look to sell on a retest. And then, depending on if the news comes out, it's flat, it's lackluster, then we'll keep an eye if we're going to pull back to this 5,500, pull back to 54.80, and then see if we're breaking or not. But I'm going to watch those two areas here, 55.35, 54.80. So we'll watch those two areas post news. And then finally, we've got the USD yen. Why it's not there? Let's reset it. On the US yen, all right. So currently trading at 97.60 on the US yen. Channel information is telling us that we've got a channel bottom at 96.27, and we have a channel top at 97.40. Now the channel top at 97.40, we're seeing a recurring number here. So our short-term and our mid-term channel top is 97.40. So that gives us a little added bit of strength here for the top of this channel here at 97.40. So if I want to put a little star there as a 2 of 3 channel, we could see a little bit more resistance if we move to that area there at 97.40. Support resistance levels are telling us here 97.60 that we've got support below us, 97.53, and if we break through that, we've got 96.98, that 9700 area, which would be significant. If we continue to the upside, we've got 97.78, followed by 9800, if we, which is a big whole number, good spot to look for some potential trades. Are we trending or oscillating though on this pair? Well, definitely in an upward trend for the day. We're seeing an upward trend. Has the channel been broken? Have we broken above 97.40? Yep, sure have. We've broken out of our channel. Average range on this, today we've moved 85 pips, but on average, if we look even here in the short term, we're 100 to 120 pips, and if you look out over the last couple of months, last few months, we're seeing 120 pips as our range as well. So 100 to 120 pips. We're currently at 85. We know what news is occurring, and we know what's happening in our futures market. Now this might start to see some movement here in futures here shortly, given the fact that our floor traders come on here in about 5 minutes. But I would still wait, wait for news at 10 Eastern, and then look to place your trades following that. We could certainly see this float back to this 97.40. We could very easily pull back here. This would be a great spot to look for potential entry. So we've got 97.40, which is a 2 of 3 channel. It's been, it was broken. It repelled the first time, and then we've seen it retested, tested quite a bit before it finally broke out this morning during the U.S. session, and really got some legs going above it here to the upside. Now let's see some other areas for opportunity here. We have 97.53, which is here, and that was price definitely struggled around there, and then 97.78, which would be right about here. So, looking low to high, good spot to look for potential reversals. It's about 100 pips from low to high, from the low of the current session to the high of this current session is about 100 pips if we get to 97.78. Again, just kind of depends on what's happening with that news event. I would really be watching 97.78, 97.40. This would be, if it's a lackluster news event, price could push here and be kind of ranged out for the day and be a good spot to look for reversals. Let's just wait and see what the news is telling us after that Holmes report comes out. So 97.78 would be a great spot to look for a sell on this, and then 97.40. Great spot to look for some additional buys if we're wanting to tack on to some other trades that you might have going presently. So 97.40 would be a great spot to look for potential buys. But let's wait for news to occur, and these would be the two areas that I would be keeping an eye on here today. But I'm not going to place any trades until after this news at 10 o'clock Eastern. So there you have it. We went through this pretty quickly today. There's not a whole lot to talk about since we're in news. Forex Joe and I were speaking earlier. We're probably going to cancel class on Friday since it is a holiday. And then we're going to move that Monday night class to Tuesday night. I forgot there wasn't going to be a report since it's a holiday on Monday. Our report won't come out until Tuesday. So we'll have our normal Monday night class will be a Tuesday night class instead, where we can set up and look for the levels to watch coming into non-farm payroll. So, but we are going to cancel class on Friday, just given the fact that these markets are going to be slow, and probably even more so on that Friday coming into the holiday. So that's it for me. We've got a couple of levels we're going to watch, but we're going to wait another half hour before we place these trades. So I'm going to turn it over to Forex Joe right now and let him impart some of his wisdom to you before we wrap it up for the day.
Okay, can you hear me, Brian?
I can hear you.
All right. We had another textbook move on the yen from last night on the trade alerts because it went all the way to 96.80 area and reversed. 97.01 was another entry. I think Kirk's back in on it. He was up about 50-some pips. I did a video, or in the process of doing a video, from the trade alerts from where we did the 450 pips here in the last couple of weeks, where it was scheduled. I mean, it was actually a live trade. We're also going to be showing links again of Brian of all the trades that he's done here for this month. So even though it's been kind of slow, it's been range-bound trading, and rules of engagement are going to be wrong once, and we've been able to pick our areas and generate some positive pips. So just stay the course. If you're going to trade today, after today, I would get rid of everything and spend a long weekend because it's going to be slow. And then let's get ready next Tuesday. Then we have non-farm payroll with the ECB next week, and then the following week the traders will be back, so we'll have plenty of action. So if you bagged your 200 pips, which I know most of you have this month, spend some quality time with your family this weekend and get ready for next week. So like Brian said, we'll probably cancel class on Friday. We'll move the Monday class till Tuesday night. I'll do the report on Thursday. The report on Thursday will be the Friday report for the weekend, and then I'll have a schedule in there, and I won't be back until Tuesday. So I'll turn it back over to you, Brian.
All right, James had a nice question. What are your thoughts regarding the effect of Syria? You know, right now we've got futures market going kind of crazy. Oil's booming. What do you think if we end up going to war over there? What do you think impact that'll have on the dollar?
Uh, to tell you the truth, I don't know if it's going to have that much of an effect. It might have an early effect, but there's too many other intangibles. And right now, because there's, the markets are thin, you're going to see a little bit more movement. You've seen oil go up. It gives oil a reason to go up because this really ends the holiday season, and you're going to see oil come back down here in September. So I think it's much ado about nothing, and I think it's an aberration, and I think it'll all be over with here pretty quick. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm not going to get too excited about it. I'm not going to look at it short term, especially with all the moves with the yen. I think the yen's back into play along with the euro US dollar. We have plenty of pips, and also the pound dollar. We have plenty of pips that we're able to accomplish in that area. So I would just hold on, and we'll see what happens next week. But again, everything that's going to happen this week is going to be an aberration, and they're just looking for a reason to drive oil up under current market conditions, and until after the driving season, which actually ends next week. Back over to you.
All right, very good. Thanks, Joe. All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and wrap it up. We'll keep the class short, and as we mentioned, we're going to cancel Friday class, so go out and have some fun, and we'll see you guys next week. And yeah, look for that. Look for those videos coming out. We've been putting the recasts of the recaps rather recasts the recaps of the classes. We've been putting those out after class every day. We're going to put them all together so that you guys can find them pretty easily. So look for that over the course of the next couple of days on the website, so that if you want to go back and review any classes and the class recap of how we got the pips, then you can certainly do that. All right, guys. Well, have a great one, and we will talk to you soon.